My topic is improve a search user interface in an enterprise application environment.
Okay.
My thesis is kind of divided between two major parts. First part is to the user study, and the second part is to the developing a solution. So first part in the user study, we have a large customer base. So I'm planning, currently I'm working on the usability questionnaire and to find out what our user have current problems or what kind of problems they face day to day when they use our software. And then I compile the data, and on that basis I have some proposed solution. So I try to develop this kind of proposed solution, but I also want to include the real problems from real user. I like to use the human, it's called HCD process, human centered design process, and that's the first step of HCD process is to learn the user.
Okay.
Like if you don't learn the user, then how you can make a better interface
For them.
Yeah, for that. Currently I'm also working as a UX researcher in one company in the campus only. It's called Contact Software. Like my work is mixed between user interface design and user experience design. So I had done some, in the start I've done some work for UI design, and then once I was studying like right now we are building something new product for our company, and I had some free time and I was just studying the interface, and they had like kind of a search interface, and then I used that and I find some problem, and then I thought like what in condition what the search is right now, it can be improved a lot better. And then I've made this kind of concept that how we can improve the search in the enterprise application. While like in enterprise application you have like hundreds and thousands of lines of so many different datas, and they are all related to each other. So it's really important to find that data, and if you make kind of algorithms and search interface because of that, if the user can find data fast, then it can increase overall productivity of the company who use that software. So I'm going in that direction, that I'm right now currently doing kind of a research part on that front. Actually I was looking for something to do with the thesis, and then I just found out, and then I asked to my colleague and my boss, and they also really liked the topic. And then I studied more, and then I read a lot of papers about what kind of search engines or search algorithm different companies use, and it found me very, I got very much attracted with the topic, so I choose that topic. Like it's a mix of both.
Mix of both. So I can say 50%, 50%.
Yeah, 50%.
Okay.
I took two different approaches. Now I decided to work on this topic. So first I had went on the SCM website and find some paper about the search algorithm and what kind of search techniques there are. And then I also went to this one platform called Skillshare or SlideShare, where a lot of different companies, they publish their slides. So I found one really good slide about how Amazon use search and search facets in their shopping website, and it was really nice. So it is a detailed presentation, almost 90 slides, that how Amazon is using artificial intelligence inside a search so that the people can buy more products. It was really, and then I found another different slides on the different search topics. So, so this is how I started doing. For the slides, etc., I used the Google search, and for the papers, I used Google Research, I guess.
Google Scholar.
Google Scholar, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I get into one book. It's from the one big design company. It's called the Basic. I don't know the exact name, but it's somewhere like Basic Books of Human-Centered Design. and it's from the company called IDEO. It's like one of the largest interaction design company. So that book really helped me to get into the human-centered design. And then there is another website called Interaction Design Academy, where it's a kind of a MOOC, like massively open online catalog course something, and there they have some usability courses. So I've done few usability courses there. We have in-house one usability expert, and she also helped me to form a questionnaire and how to talk and how to do the interviews with the people, with the customers. So like there is a good support even from my company to do my thesis, so that's nice. So Google is kind of a go-to place. There is a huge amount of, like in a Google search, you have to do research, you keep searching on topic and different website, and so many, like there are one of the few is like on a medium.com there is a lot of blog posts about the UX design, as well as Smashing magazines also have a lot of UX design articles. So yeah, mostly like a Google search I use.
Okay.
Like there must be a lot of papers I search on the Google research. They are mostly excerpts from different journals.
Okay.
So it's not always like a scientific paper, but it's a lot of time it's just excerpt from the journals. So I don't know by heart the name, but there is a lot of papers from different journals.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. Like whenever I do something research on like Google research, they generally forward me to some not the whole journal, but some parts of published, like some excerpt of the journal according to the topic what I searched. So yeah, I use mostly SEM. Like I haven't heard about the other journals, but for sure I've used SEM.
Okay.
Digital, yes.
Yeah.
I'm from digital media, so maybe that's the reason. Okay, I found the thing online, but I like to read it on paper. For reading purposes, I prefer the on paper, especially if something scientific paper or journal, then I highly prefer on the paper. But if some blog post or something, then I prefer digital. Like mostly when you read blog post or something kind of thing, it's more of a leisure activity rather than something to study. And like we always grew up studying with paper, so that's why maybe that's the reason it's more easier to read on the paper and you can concentrate more on the paper. I think so. That's another.
Nice.
And you can make mark anytime. You can take notes on the paper, so that's why it's a lot easier. Or help from the professor and my colleague, I can say, because if I stuck somewhere, I'm blessed with a really nice colleague, and my boss, he really supports me, and if I had some kind of issues or something, they are the first line of kind of contact. And then else the Google search. A lot of cases I come up solution by myself. But for some solution where you get stuck and you don't know what to do, and like you have a lack of knowledge or lack of experience for that, and you need some kind of experienced person to give you an insight. So it's not about liking, but it's just a general approach you do. Otherwise, like there is I guess another approach, that reading the whole books, but nowadays nobody have that time to go through the whole book and finding the solution. And a lot of problems, especially in my kind of thesis, is it's really novel problem, like really new problems which you cannot find solution in the libraries or books. So either you have to read something newer people has written about on some blogs, or the people who is currently working on that kind of solution right now. Because it's like the whole, especially in the UX design this movement, UX movement, it's only 15-year-old.
Okay.
Like it's the first time somebody has named this UX word. It's like 15 years before, 15 or 20 years. I don't know the exact date, but it's generated by the UX designer called Don Norman. Sometime
Okay.
I can definitely say that you read so many stuff and then you kind of lost, and then you have to just narrow it down, that okay, you have to just keep your focus back to the what you are searching, because there is a huge pool of data. Yeah, for sure. Like that's maybe the other reason I like to use paper too, because like internet is a kind of machine which gives you entertainment and everything together. So okay, before there was a TV, but it's pure entertainment purpose. But like now internet is give you entertainment and work, and you have to choose between both, and then a lot of time you can get lapsed and just spend a lot of time in a really wasteful activities. When you have to do a technical stuff, then okay, you find something and then you start doing it, but at one point after you realize, okay, you are doing this thing and this is wrong, and then you have to change everything. But if I can say, if I had some technical issues, the best thing is to ask for help in colleague.
Okay. In person.
In person. I like there is another way you can do a Google search and try to find a solution by yourself, but it's a time consuming, so in that case it's better to just ask personally. Yes, I can say yes. Sometime if some paper you are reading and which has like bad language or something out of topic, but you already started reading and then you cannot take control of it, like you cannot keep up with the writing, so like it happens. It depends. Like it depends, but sometimes yes, sometimes like if there is a sun outside and it's beautiful weather and then you are reading and then just you start feeling worse, so yeah, it happens. I got a lot of suggestions from my professor as well as my colleague, that they gave me books to read, they gave me papers to read, they followed some links to read. So it's mostly the influence from the colleague and professor.
Okay.
Yes, I can say. I would I would love to read some good books which I haven't read it about. So this I'm still missing, that I feel like I'm working on the usability thing, and there are some books which are kind of pioneer in establishing the usability and UX design. So these books I haven't started, so I miss that. I should read more books.